drive straight from here to the store, and I'll drive straight from there, da-da-da-da-da. But if I'm out and around, hey man, they don't like that. They never have. And I know they don't like it. They can't pretend they don't like it. You know, they can't pretend we don't want him on the bus, because I meet people on the bus, right? And if I go around in a circle and I get on a bus, I may get in a conversation with somebody. And I may pass them a paper or anything. You know what I mean? Or I may rendezvous with, they don't know who they think they know who I know, but now they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable at all. They know. Did you remember that there was a movie with Will Smith when he was a lawyer?
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State. And pretty soon when he was, you know what the state was doing. Now that's in the 90s. So you could imagine where it is now. You know, they could zero in on him, and they could, I mean, everywhere he went. But what did they say? They tried to take pictures of him, and the guy got a hat on and everything, trying to get the pictures of his head, and he said, somebody is helping him. Right? We got to find out who that is. Who's helping him? Okay. That is boss man's dilemma. There's no sense of hiding. That's his dilemma. We know that he's already known, and everybody know who's helping that nigga. And the reason all this banging upside the head was to make me run to my real support network. And I know that's what he did. That's why he did it. That's why I told her, you stand down, you shut up, you don't make a move, you don't do nothing. Number one, you're a Negro. Number one, these other Negroes are trained Negroes. They're trained Negroes. Just because you got to deal with boss man, he got another deal with him, and he'll make sure all of y'all wind up dead. But you'll be dead. You don't go, but you don't you worry about that. I got to know what I'm doing. Boss man wants you to run to somebody, right? He knows if he keep pressing you, he's going to find out where is your support coming from. How come no matter what happened to you, you pop up dancing and smiling and looking around? How is that happening? An individual don't do that, is what they think. Individuals don't do that. No, they don't. According to their studies, individuals don't do that. What give them the backup to just say, yeah, boss man? Where does that come from? For them, it's backup. What is a certainty? What is a certainty? That means somebody is watching them. That's what they think. Somebody is watching them in some kind of way. The message of stability is getting through, because what you talking about? Ain't nothing happened, right? So this is their position. They say niggas getting help, and they've been thinking like that. We got to find out. That's why the stuff that happens, the stupid, they want to find out. Because, you know, if you're having trouble beyond your ability to deal with it, you're going to go get your friend. Or you're going to call, you're going to send a message, and then they'll watch what type of help, who they are, and they feel like they'll be home free. You won't believe it, but the white man is a stupid MF. He's a stupid MF. He's the dumbest son of a gun. And the reason nobody knows it, because they never got nowhere. Whenever we got up, our games, our movements, they caught us at first base. Nobody ever got past second base. Nobody ever got past second base. Nobody, I'm telling you, and I would be happy to hear from whoever even got on second base. The minute you showed your colors and where you was coming from, boss man hooked up his whole team to stop you. So if you got on first base and you was headed to second, he threw you out on the way. Everybody. Everybody. That's been our history. So what we gonna do, if we got a chance to look at all of that, which very few people don't get, like Chairman Fred and them, they moved on so fast they never got a chance. All our people, they never got a chance to, you know what I mean, to really let this stuff settle in. And they never had a long march. That's the main thing. The long march teaching. That's what we're thankful for. And also a feeling of history. If you go back in history, we've been talking about the Long March since 1980s, well, technically 70s. I got up on it in 70. Man, that was 71 when I that's when I was in Algeria, you know, when I got selected works and all that. I got them from Pete O'Neill. And the only one I kept was Volume 1. That was the one with all this guerrilla warfare and others about big meetings that they had, plea in there, I don't know any of that. But all the strategy, we learned it and upgraded it. We Negroized it. This is the thing. Psychological guerrilla warfare is just Negroizing warfare. We put a colored stamp on it, and they can't beat us because we colored. They can't out-color you and you colored. They can't out-kingfish you. They can't do it. I mean, when you really Negroize it, they ain't even close. Do you know that it's been decades before they've had anybody in the FBI from way back when that even understands, and they didn't have enough Negroes in those days, so they don't even know psychological guerrilla warfare, how to pump the FBI. They got to go and have a meeting on why? What does that mean? Satirize the enemy. What? What is he talking about? Did your mother buy you that shirt? Can you imagine the conversation? They got to discuss that. Right? Yeah. And one of the dummies might say, you know, maybe, let's listen to him, and then I'll tell him this is what it means. Did your mama buy that shirt? And we'll tell him about Negro history. Right? But there, look, I'm trying to tell you, you can believe it or not. I hope you do believe it. There's cross sections and somersaults and turns that you can hook up. If the white man try to do it and he start flipping, he won't make the grasp. You know, he won't he'll fall flat on his face without a net. That's what happened to him. Right? But the Negro has it in his ability. That's why you can't lose hope. That's what the Quran says. Go and check on, what's the name of this? Yusuf. Go check on him, because don't give up hope of Allah's soothing mercy. No one gives up hope of Allah's soothing mercy to those that don't have no faith. Okay. Now, I'm going to get back to us again. It don't matter what they do and what they say. It's not being arrogant. Everything we say have happened or is getting ready to happen or is coming out. Over the last 40 years is what's happening. You got to remember, we was right back then. Right? That means we was right 20 years ago. That means we were correct. All the stuff we talk about now, all you got to do is wait for it to happen. Because it's going to happen. Now we're in charge of us. When they say the Americans in China, we're not in charge of China. All we can do is advise them. We hope y'all do the right thing. If you don't worry, the hell will catch up with you. Like you ain't outside history. You want to slick a lot? Go ahead. Slick them. Yeah. That's why with the dumb Iranians, the dumb ones, they getting ready to have another meeting because the ones is telling them, you gotta have that meeting now because we're gonna have an election in a few days, next couple, right? So if you don't get on our team now, it'll be too late. And that's the same ones that's been cutting our throat. And our homeboys is the most popular. They could win an election if they let them run. Right? But it don't make no difference. All the crews that might pull it off, we're on the right team. You got to have the courage to hold out to like that. You can't get flighty and ready to run and change up. If you know what's right, you got to stick with it all that time. If your crew is in, you got to carry it with dignity. If your crew is out, you got to hold on with your hind teeth. Okay? That's not just advice. That's what we've been doing all along. Just pull out your notebooks and see. You know, it don't make no difference who's in and who's out. And the other thing is, we're depending on Allah. We're depending on Allah. And if we run across somebody that kind of want to head in the same direction, that's extra. You see what I mean? That's extra. So world class in implementation as well as organizational expectation. Remember that hadith? You get from Allah what you expect of Allah. That's the hadith Qudsi. And I'm paraphrasing. If you expect that Allah is going to help you, if you need help, if you deserve help, if that what you're doing is headed in the right direction, then you'll get your help. Just like yesterday, one of the brothers was saying, hey man, legally, if a tree fall in this yard or that yard, you don't have, you know what I mean? Technically, if that tree we got, if it falls on their house, we don't have to pay for it. We didn't plant the tree, that's what he was saying, he didn't plant it, so you don't have to, I said, oh no, we're not going to do that. Because that's the white man's law. Well, You remember where I said, oh no, fuck that. We know the tree is on our property. And if he's good enough to go 50-50, we said that's great. We don't say, I don't have to do it, fall on your house. You just paid $400,000. And look, babe, you should have saw how they fixed that. They fixed that. That's not a shoddy job. That's the best job of renovation I saw, and it was expensive. So the guy, amigo, I don't know the tree. I said, yeah, okay. No, he was serious, the tree, because it's gonna fall on his house. We said, and you saw, we made our little effort. We said, forget it, we'll go 50-50 with you. Get some of your homeboys to, so he asked me this morning, you wanted all the way in Medio, or I said, we'd bring it down at Medio, in the middle. Bring down all that stuff, and then from there we'll take care of it, or it'll last another 40 years or something. The point is, look, we're not doing nothing stupid, nor what's illegal for us, not what's illegal for other people. Their rules don't count with us. The Islamic guidelines, the Islamic rules, right? This is what counts. That's what we're doing. It don't make no difference what they say. Oh, if we can halfway read and we see this says you can't do that, or it says you can. There's some adjustments, some thick of clarification and thick of this, but that's for ourselves, that we can't go out teaching that, you know. Just don't want to be bothered. But there's things that come up that are really are not highlighted in Quran and Sunnah enough, and there's not even a history that we have studied of it, and so we have to look it up. The fiqh of high expectations, the fiqh of motivate, don't make no difference. The fiqh is nigger fiqh. That's all it is. It's just regular old straight out nigger fiqh, and I don't want to blah blah. I'm not going to be bothered with them people, them bookworms talking about that's nothing to the. I ain't gonna be bothered with you. I ain't gonna mention it to nobody either. You know, we just mention it here. But I'm not gonna be bothered. I'll know, I got enough sense to know, and all of us will this time. So this is justifiable fiqh of self-reliance. Our fiqh is justifiable, and it's the fiqh of self-reliance. Right? Not the Quran, not the Sunnah. Right? It may not be in history. A lot of stuff we're dealing with now is not historical. And we can't reach back into that history to figure out what to do. But we have to pack all that together, and we have to come up with what it seems, and we can't be cheating. Well, I said, I like to see it. This thing say you can't go with white girls step on Saturday afternoon. We ain't gonna fix nothing like that. You know what I mean? Where this is what we wanted to do all the time, and therefore we're gonna do that. You know, under the guise of Negro fiqh. Right? That's what other people would do. That's what I meant yesterday. I don't care what, he don't have no jurisdiction. He don't have to do nothing. I don't care. We're going to take care of what we feel is our human responsibility. You know what I mean? And the tree is on our side, and it is not on his side, and it's hanging over his. So we say, hey, we'll cut it. We're gonna pay half, whatever it is. He gets some of his homeboys. I hope he don't boost up the price so he can pay his half and I pay it, then he get a kickback. I don't think he do that. If he do, it's okay. Shoot, it ain't. I'm gonna die from it. Okay. Asset capabilities plus use determine future. Our assets right now. Now, think about it. We're at the beginning of a new phase, not the end of an old phase. We're at the beginning where our dialogue and our discussion and our movement is, we're not at the be prepared to sleep under a bridge phase because we just didn't have to get that far, right? We're not far enough where we had just, boss man took everything. Okay, all the property we have, 8 pieces of property, we have it here. Okay, he stopped us on the way to fixing it up, right? And so it costs you some time to stay where you are. But we never had to go down into our resources here. And remember California, the Masjid, the property, we're going to charge boss man, we say $150 million. We're going to charge him. If they charge $27 million for what happened right up there, for one killing, we got to let the people understand. Suppose all this, first we lay it out, the whole thing. And now suppose boss man would have run us crazy. And we drove a bomb to the such and such and killed up 5,000 people, right? Or had somebody do it. That wouldn't be our fault, that'd be boss man's, right? That would be his fault because he urged and he cajoled and he pampered and he fixed. And by that time, you see, that's your boss man. That's why we deserve all the problems with our cars, all the stuff with our property, everything has been him. 90% of it is him back there causing that type of a problem, right? So we'll be able to show that to the jury. And then we will get whatever we got coming. But it has to be a big number because, see, the time that he's been messing with us and have been diverting us, all that is time, we don't say we could have been doing this. But just imagine, if our goal when we started out years ago was to have 50 or 100 Masjid in America. Okay, if he stopped us at 10, right? And he eroded all of those till we back down now to 2. We're here in Oakland, or they're in Oakland, we're here, right? As far as he knew. Okay. That means that they haven't been interfering with, all we ought to do is even kind of prove that that's what's been going on. And it's a miracle. And you got to remember this thing about delay. Just think about our cases now relating to all the delays, I mean the things that the boss man did to everybody else. And we say, we were not, Floyd, what's the name up there? We stuck to our stuff, and we held on, right? And we done had 8 times where the police done raided us, right, in California. And they done drug us out of the Masjid half naked, right? And we got all that. Yeah, that's all the stuff. And we got the stuff where if we can get Tufel's phone, on Tufel's phone, Khadijah and them, y'all might have it too.
Yeah, we got the recording.